Alright, let's get started. So, we'll probably start where the city kind of started, which is right over here. Looking at this, I'm a fan of you using this to ground. But then I'm not a fan of this being a bridge. That'd probably be ground as well. That's just me. You can do however you want. It's your city. That's just my preference. We'll check these grades. Fantastic. Beautiful. Pretty good. Ouch. But yeah, it should be okay. I think if you just smooth this one out just a little bit, it would be perfect. Let's move on down the freeway. This one looks a little bit more difficult. Yeah, you got a little bit steeper grades there. I think just having the ramps spaced out farther would have solved your issue. It's just you didn't really have the space for this area, and it shows. You definitely packed one in here, and I'm not sure how I feel about packing it in. Got one of the content creator bridges here. It looks phenomenal. Of course it does. Content creator bridge, it looks amazing. I love it. So technically this right here is a bridge, but it's on ground. It's just over a tunnel. So that makes that technically a bridge. Okay, we're at pedestrian bridges. I discovered last video that there is a certain grade that you have to meet when you're doing pedestrian bridges, and this is definitely not that grade. I believe it was supposed to be like 3 or 5%. I can't remember off the top of my head, but this is way too steep. You have to think about people who are disabled and cannot use this steep of a walking path. So that's something you kind of have to keep in mind. And that makes it even more difficult because walking paths have less leeway for slopage. Then it looks like you're also missing a pier here. That's a really, really long span. And I don't know how I feel about that. Well, I mean, I do know how I feel about that, and I'm not okay with it. Yeah, there would definitely be a pier. Probably right here at least. Yeah, probably right there. And on this side as well. Probably at least right there. So then you shorten up the middle span here as much as you can. Reasonably as much as you can. It's not always possible, but you do your best. And then I think we got the same problem over here. This is probably going to be way too steep. It's a lot better than the other side, but it's still too steep. Got to think about people in wheelchairs. You got to think about people who have canes, who can't walk so well. Anybody who has mobility issues, you got to think about it. And it's tough. It really is. It's like we got a little bit of a bridge here, and I think that's just to get the handrails. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you must have just wanted the handrails. Somebody just walked right through it. It's fine. We'll pass right through it. It's all good. We'll just pretend he climbed it. How about that? Yeah, that's all right. It's a local road, so you have more leniency there. So that's just fine. Let's take a look at this pedestrian bridge. Oh, that's a little too steep, unfortunately. Yeah, it's tough making pedestrian bridges to code. This is definitely too steep. Way too steep there. And I would assume a similar situation with these. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really tough situation, but that's what the series is all about, right? I'm just getting you to think about this. 'Cause you gotta think, if I was handicapped, would I want someone to think about me while designing a bridge? Absolutely. And this bridge is fine since we're in a local area. We're not on a highway, so you'll be just fine there. We got a pedestrian bridge here. Looks like it kind of goes up and down, so we'll just take a look at the whole thing here. this was just more smooth, you would probably fall within that ADA requirement. Let's take a look at this bridge here. What am I connecting to? What is that? What actually is that? Is that retaining wall? Yeah, okay. It's in my way. Really? Really? There we go. Let's take a look at this one. Super solid, love it. Plenty of piers. I say that's a great bridge. I have no complaints about that at all. Over here, pretty good. It's not too long, so that'll be fine. It doesn't look like you have any boats passing underneath here, so we don't have to worry about any vertical clearance, which makes our lives easy. Oh, this is a long boy. Okay. Got a really small area that probably could use some fixing. Just smoothing out some of these grades will probably help you out. And then we got another really small area that could use some fixing. Otherwise, this bridge looks pretty dang good. Just smoothing out some of the rough areas and you'll be fine. Looks like this is a bridge. Yep, that's a bridge. And it's too steep. Oh boy, is that a rail bridge? It is. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Railroads are tricky. They're really, really tricky here. You can't have too steep a slope. And unfortunately, that is really, really steep. Trains don't do so well on those. And I mean, even think about it, like, you're coming down to a station. Trains need like a mile to stop. Well, you're going downhill. How do you stop going downhill? You got to go really slow up here. And I remember I told Grottles what the proper grade for a railroad is. And it's really, really small. And Grottles, if you remember, leave it in the comments, because I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's kind of the same situation over here. You got sharp bends and super steep grades. Trains wouldn't handle it. See, this train's even slowing down for it. If the game is automatically slowing down for it, that should tell you something. This bridge is actually okay. That's pretty good. I like that. And it's got plenty of vertical clearance over the railroad. Beautiful. You got another content creator bridge. Figured there'd be no issues there. That's a really good bridge there. That road looks pretty steep. Just out of curiosity. It is pretty steep. Whoa. What happened here? I don't think that was intentional. I don't think any of this should really be this steep. If anything... Oh, geez, I don't even know how you would fix that. I mean, even right here it's pretty steep. I think the only way you could have done that is set a ground level here and sloped out before you built this. Because you can see this roundabout's... Oh boy. Yeah. I don't know. That would be something you would need to take a look at. 14%. Granted, it's very short. It's also a roundabout, and a roundabout should not be like that. Yeah, so I guess what I would have done is made this flat. Like, actually flat. This little curve here makes it look really cool. I like that. So, I'm going to be pretty particular on this. I'm going to start from... We'll start from the interchange, and we'll go to the interchange. And you can see you have a couple problem areas, particularly here. But other than that, for the most part, pretty solid. We'll also check this one here, which is this whole one here. You got a couple problem areas there as well, but for the most part, pretty good. And my only issue with this is some of the curves are really, really tight. And I mean, it's fine. It's not a big deal. You can adjust speeds in real life to match the curve. But the game, there's very limited options when it comes to that. So, yeah, I mean, it's ultimately up to you. This bridge is definitely not ADA compliant. I can tell you that right now. No. Yeah, that bridge would not be allowed to pass. This one here is okay, only because we're on a local system and it's a really, really short span. This is actually going to be part of the highway system, and I'm not so sure that would be allowed to pass, since this is an interchange. This pedestrian bridge is not ADA compliant, nor is this side. Yeah, pedestrian bridges are hard to do. They really are. Oh yeah, I suppose there's a pedestrian bridge here too, isn't there? That is definitely not ADA compliant. Ooh. Nor is that. Ooh, my God. That's a rough one. Take a look at these freeway bridges here. It's a little steep. If we maybe could have smoothed that out just a little bit. But yeah, the bridge itself is pretty solid, except for the grading at the beginning and the end. I'd probably work on trying to fix that. That's a tram line, isn't it? They are able to do steep slopes like that. I just don't know if they're able to do that steep a slope. But since I'm not knowledgeable on that, I'm not gonna even bother including it. It's close, but not quite there. That's too steep, and that's too steep. Oh, we got the zoo. I'm not even gonna look at the zoo because it's technically not a part of the transportation system. I would assume that any bridges on the inside, right, kitty, would be ADA compliant. How dare you? How dare you? That's not okay. I think that's just the vanilla game. I don't think you can even do anything about that. I found another pedestrian bridge. What are we looking at here? Looking at too steep. Sounds about right. It's really hard. I'm telling you, it's really, really hard to get those pedestrian bridges. Proper slopage, proper grading. All right, let's take a look at this bridge. Close. Really, really close. Wow, that is so close. That's impressive. Definitely not ADA compliant. I like this short span bridge. It's just, I can see into the void. Not ADA compliant. If that would have been smoothed out, that's probably ADA compliant. Like I said, I don't remember the exact slopage, because there's also like, you can do this slope if you provide a landing every so many feet. I don't remember it. I just know that there is an ADA qualification. This bridge looks really good. I really like how you incorporated the archway into the railroads. That is a really, really good touch. And then this nice arch bridge. I love it. It even extends over here. Ooh. Ooh, somebody was thinking. I appreciate that. But you got some flooding buildings. I don't know what to say about that. Did this need to be a bridge? Because I don't think it did, but it's fine. The piers, do they line up? Do they? Oh my God. They do. Whoever designed this section, I'm melting in my chair because this is great. I literally can't find a problem in here. I guess my only concern for this bridge here is you are restricting the waterway, and that would, in theory, back up the water back here and cause some flooding issues. But since we're in Cities Skylines, the water just goes right through the pier. So it's fine. Yeah, that's a beautiful bridge. Let's check your slopage. Ooh. Ooh. Oh no. You know, that's what I would say if this was a highway system. But it's not. It's a local road. So it's fine. We're good there. It's good. Thank God I'm done with that one. This bend seems a little sharp, but you're probably okay if they know to take it slowly. And of course a truss bridge. I mean, yeah, you're pretty good except for this one little portion right there. Solid. Really good. We got 3 of them side by side. That's good. Where are the piers? The piers don't line up, which is unfortunate. So that makes it a little bit more difficult to get boats underneath. But it doesn't even look like it's a boating area anyways. They would probably direct them this way to begin with. That is too steep. And then it flattens out over here, which is really, really nice. But I think this is too steep anyways. Yep, that's too steep. That's too steep. And that's solid. Too good. I just don't know that I would use a suspension bridge in this short of a area. Yep, I got no complaints about that. Besides the fact that this is super steep, it looks pretty good. If you would have just done this, I feel like it would have been better. Because then it slowly drops down. And I think it's a similar situation for this side. If we end it here. If you would have just done that. Look at how much that changed things. Like, that looks so much better, does it not? I have no complaints about that. Again, no complaints. Pretty steep over here. I'd probably try to fix that. Especially with the bullet train. I'd try to fix that. This right here should not exist. That is way too sharp of a turn. Way too steep of a... It's literally a bump. You're literally dropping off a cliff. And then here to... Oh my gosh, where is this going? That's insane. Alright, so... Looking at this, you can probably see some of your problem areas. You do what you want to that. Same with this one over here. You can see your problem areas. Let's take a look at this one. That whole thing's a problem. It feels this was too tightly compacted into this area. That's pretty good. I don't have any problems with that. Pretty good as well. It's not too bad. Since it's a local road, it's okay. Doesn't look like I have a whole lot else over here except for this bridge, which is fine. So you got a steep slope there and you got a steep one there. You could try fixing that. Probably could have smoothed that out a little bit. Probably same with this one. Yeah, pretty solid there. Okay, let's talk about roads. So right off the bat, I kind of want to talk about this area here. So you have a frontage freeway, which I totally get. I get why you did that. But this entrance and this exit, too close. Maybe bump this back over here so you have a bit of a separation there. And then I would say it's pretty good. What is this tunnel for? Why? Really? Okay, I didn't even notice that, but that feels too close to there as well. So typically on a freeway, there's exceptions. Of course, there's always exceptions. But on a typical freeway, your interchanges will be spaced 1 mile apart. So here, for example, you have this interchange that comes all the way out to here. Well, then your next interchange is literally a few feet away from it. And it's really close. It probably shouldn't be. If you narrowed this, or if you tighten this up, and then you maybe didn't even have this interchange, we could be talking. So you got a space here, which is pretty good distance from this one. That I can agree with. You don't even have another interchange for how long? You skip this one, you skip this one, then you have this one right here. Sure, I can agree with that. That's fine. But right after that, you have a roundabout. Too close. Way too close. But it does become a local road, so that might pass. So since this turns into a local road, it probably passes. So then we go down this way. This is a highway. Here's your interchange. Here's your interchange. That's really close to each other. And then from here to here, another interchange, really, really close to each other. So from here to here, that's pretty good. I got no complaints about that. Same with this one. Same with this one. I can see that flying. But as for your road layout, it's pretty dang good. I mean, you got your collectors and arterials in places that make sense to me. I don't see anything that is really, really busy as a non-collector or arterial. You have some problem areas, sure, but that's not a big deal. So looking at this, you got a lot of freeways, which is fine. It's just, are you overdoing it? Which I don't actually think you are overdoing this at all. So I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of this area. Got a nice arterial right through here. And then I think it shrinks into a collector. So I guess my question is, why would you take a 4-lane road, condense it down to a 2-lane road just to go back to a 4-lane road? That's one thing I'm kind of looking at, like, why would you do that? I can't really find anything where it screams to me saying this is overbuilt or this is underbuilt. I think this is pretty well balanced. I'm not gonna lie, this is balanced. Your downtown has a lot more infrastructure to it. Makes sense to me. Your airport has a lot more infrastructure to it. Yeah, that makes sense. Your cargo hub has infrastructure, but the rest of it is not just filled with freeways. And I think that's really nice. So now let's move into traffic. We are sitting at a 74%. So we will calculate the score based on the 74%. This area right here is a problem, probably because it's industrial going to an airport. This section over here is backed up. I don't really agree with this whole thing right here. This is your cargo transport. Makes sense. Freeways are obviously going to be busy, especially in this area where it's a lot of stuff together. Some congestion over here. Yeah, I mean, it's about where you would expect the congestion to be. Is there any intersection control in this city at all? Oh, we got a little bit. There is a little bit. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So there's some intersection control, but not a whole lot. Let's take a look at stoplights. Looks like stoplights have been removed on places that the game would put them. Because of the angle, I would expect to see one here. That's a really strange angle. This is technically an arterial to an arterial. There should be one there. Yeah, looks like you guys got rid of all your traffic signals, and I don't agree with that. Yeah, see, I don't agree with getting rid of all your traffic signals, because it's not really realistic. Got a time traffic signal here. I can appreciate that. Got another one here. Nice. Another one there. Okay, there's a little bit of intersection control. Looks like they did intersection control in places that they thought they needed it. Look, I get it. You don't want to do every single road. Believe me, I get it. Traffic signal there. That's a good location for one. Definitely one there. But I don't know about these locations. Don't think you need them there. Got timed ones. Got traffic signals for tram roads. So it's kind of hard to judge, you know, because like you have some places and you don't have some other places. Intersection control. You had them some places, you had them other places. I don't really know. Like, what more can I say? Like, there are some places that got it and some places that didn't. Here's your score. Let's take a look at some water towers. Do you have any? Have one over here. Very, very good placement for that. I love it. You got 2 water towers right next to each other. I disagree with that placement. You only need 1. This location's fine, yeah. I like how it's solo too. Water tower up on the hill. Beautiful placement. Love it. Got 2 water towers on the hill over here. Get rid of one and move it somewhere else. Got 2 water towers up on this hill. Get rid of one and move the other one somewhere else. Got 2 water towers over here. Same story. Take one, move it somewhere else. Yeah, I mean, pretty solid. I like it. I got no problems with it whatsoever. Now let's go look for some hydraulic structures. Very good usage of retaining walls. I love it. Lots of open green space over here. That definitely helps with your flood control. Having green space. The ground can soak up the water. Over here, there should definitely be a detention basin of some sort. And quite frankly, I think it should be right where Dean's food truck park is. Or in this area. Just because of all the concrete over here. Water will just flow. And we don't want that. Industrial areas are a lot of concrete. There would probably be some sort of basin. But it's actually water flowing into it, so that's kind of dangerous. I mean, this is kind of a prime example of why you kind of want to be careful with flooding. Because these are downhill from the top of the water. Yeah, it's going to flood. Even just the tiniest bit of water soaking over is going to flood these buildings. And that's why you worry about water control, because water is damaging. I haven't said that enough in my life. I think this lake right here is a pretty solid addition. Definitely can hold some water during heavy rain periods. But this downtown section is going to be a lot of concrete. And so is this and this enough? And this? I don't think so. There probably need to be more. Like maybe sink this into the ground a little bit and then you have storage for water. The airport especially. Like holy crap, the airport has so much concrete. In fact, in between the runways it should be lower. Not the same height. So then you should have some like drainage ditches in the middle so that water is not going to be flowing on the airport runways. The one benefit for this area is you're right next to the water. You get some water, you just move it to the ocean. Technically you want to treat the water first because it's probably going to be dirty. But yeah, that's what I got for you. I'll tally up the scores. All the ladies that participated in this city. I will link all of the channels down below. If I made a comment on your part of the city and you disagree with me, please let me know. Let's discuss. Final scores are tallied. For bridges, the score is 7 out of 10. For road layout, the score is 10 out of 10. For traffic flow, I rounded up and the score is 7 out of 10. For intersection control, the score is 5 out of 10. For water towers, the score is 8 out of 10. And for hydraulic structures, the score is 5 out of 10. Bringing the total score to a 42 out of 60. When compared to the other cities I reviewed, this city has tied with Raid Kitty's city. Don't feel bad about the score. Sometimes having multiple minds working on the same city makes it much more difficult to have everyone with the same mindset. Someone will build a city differently than another person, and that's okay. That's the beauty of these collaborations, is that it's not going to be perfect, but you get to see many, many different perspectives of how people play the game. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you'd like me to review your city, please leave a comment and I can figure out how to get a hold of your city. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you next time. Have a great day.